16 celebrities get put in random brackets. They're put on an island. Who will survive Celebrity Combat? The 1 seed, Ed O'Neill, takes on the 16 seed, Danny Trejo. All right, so initially, what do you guys think? Because, Ed O'Neill, popular, obviously, for Married with Children.
Married with Children, yes. And Modern Family. Yes, I like him. I think he's very comedic. I don't see him winning a fist fight.
Not with Danny Trejo.
This is where you motherfuckers have it wrong, because after being introduced to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu by his friend, who was a writer-director, O'Neill has trained for 22 years. That's a lot of years, boys. Under the mentoring of Rorion Gracie. All right? Obviously, the Gracies, the biggest well-known Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu family.
Obviously well known. I see them every day in the news.
In December of 2007, Ed O'Neill received his black belt. On the documentary, I Am Bruce Lee, O'Neill states that he considers getting his black belt the greatest achievement of his life, apart from his fuck trophy.
Well, above and beyond the millions he makes from being on TV.
Yeah, he's probably down with that kind of stuff. But Ed O'Neill, he's 6'1", so let's not... He's 6'1".
Is that his age or his height?
No, his age is 75 at this point, but he's 6'1". His dick size, not sure. So, Danny Trejo, what's some of the traits, Badger, that may make Danny Trejo such a badass,
Danny Trejo, he grew up on the streets of L.A. The streets. Don't fuck around with this guy. Like, your black belt ain't shit to this motherfucker.
He grew up on the streets.
He grew up on the streets.
We're not being specific about which particular streets, but he grew up on the streets.
I don't know the street name.
He's from the ghetto, but he went to jail, right?
All seriousness, Danny Trejo, he was a gang member. Not sure what gang he was associated with. Probably the Pussy Boys in L.A.
It was the L.A. Redskins, and now they're called.
Yeah,
now they're called the L.A.
Nationals. Those guys are so racist. God damn, we can't even talk about this guy.
So Trejo, he had a lot of drug use, and he believes his drug use and criminal lifestyle contributed to a lot of his marriage's demise. Now, I know what you're thinking. Like, what do you mean his marriage is demise? He's been divorced 4 fucking times.
But who wouldn't want to be married to a drug addict?
Right. I mean, that's kind of fun, right?
Yeah.
Trejo is a Democrat. Is there any problem with that?
No, he's a loser already.
Yeah.
He's lost. Ed O'Neill, what political party does Ed O'Neill follow?
A Democrat.
They're both Democrats?
Fuck Democrats.
Okay, so now they're both back on an uneven footing.
His second cousin is Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah, the director that put him in all of his movies.
Yeah, the filming of Desperado, right? Trejo is known for his distinctive appearance. Let's see. In addition to his heavily lined face, that means he looks like shit. He's scarred from cystic acne and boxing brawls.
Cystic acne. I think I had that when I was a teenager.
And the long hair and mustache.
He does look like a certain type. When you think Mexican gangster, he'd probably be at the forefront of what you would think as an image of a Mexican gangster or a Mexican Godfather or something.
But I mean, listen, at age 7, he was participating in his first drug deal. He was arrested at the age of 10. I didn't even think you could arrest people. In the 60s, his life consisted of predominantly intermittent jail stints in the California prison system. What do you guys think here?
I think if I got into a physical fight with either of them, they could both kick my ass. But if you gave me the choice, like...
He focused on boxing.
Who do you want to fight, Ed O'Neill or Danny Trejo? I'd probably pick Ed O'Neill. I mean, he'd kick my ass too, but Danny Trejo just looks more badass than Ed O'Neill.
I would agree he does look more badass.
But you never know till you're in a fight with someone. It's only when you fight someone...
He's 5'6". That help?
Danny Trejo's 5'6".
He's 5'6", so
That's
he's a
like-
tiny man.
It's almost as tiny as Badger.
It's very tiny. You can fit him in your pocket. You know what I mean? Ed O'Neill's 6'1". It's not who we're fighting. If they were stuck on an island, does jiu-jitsu beat street gangbangers?
Badger's thinking too much about this.
No.
You don't think jiu-jitsu beats gangbangers?
No.
Definitive statement there from Badger, I think.
Okay, so in my opinion, so we're going to get to the conclusion.
Let's take a vote.
We got to take a vote. I will go Ed O'Neill. I do think training with one of the highest jiu-jitsu masters on earth does get past a small hobbit
Well, just okay.
crackhead.
Just to
Danny
wait,
Trejo.
just to force.
So I'm going
Ed O'Neill.
Al Bundy.
Just to force the deciding vote onto Badger, I'm going to go with Danny Trejo.
Man, fuck y'all. What the fuck are you guys talking about? Fucking little hobbits and shit. This is some shit against me? Is this some bullshit against me?
Most of what we talk about is.
What the fuck?
Do we need to put you in this fight too, then, Badger?
Well, I'm not.
What do you think? Are you Ed O'Neill or Danny Trejo?
Do we have like a poor people combat?
We will.
We will.
God damn it.
We'll all three be in that one, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna lose that.
Wait, but you have to cast the deciding vote, Badge. Would you
My deciding vote?
in a fight? Would you have your money on Ed O'Neill or Danny Trejo?
I mean,
Stuck on an island.
stuck on an island.
So sand in your feet is a potential showstopper.
God damn, I have no idea. I'll go with Ed O'Neill.
Oh!
Martial arts wins again. Next up, number 8, Alec Baldwin taking on number 9, Gary Busey. Okay, where we go from here, guys? Because this is an interesting one.
Well, here's my first question. Does Alec Baldwin have a gun on him that allegedly doesn't work, and it actually does?
So he gets put on this island. He's handed a gun that goes, we're not sure. This is going to...
I mean, that's the overriding factor, I think. If Baldwin has a gun that he thinks doesn't work but does.
I mean, Busey was severely injured in a motorcycle accident. He wasn't wearing a helmet. Skull was fractured, and he suffered permanent brain damage. So he doesn't really know what's going on.
He doesn't. And if you've seen the interviews with him recently, he really doesn't. What's your thought on helmets for motorcycles, Jim?
Well, I mean, here's helmets. I say probably wear them because if you get in an accident, you think you're Christian.
Yes.
Yeah.
I couldn't.
If you believe Jesus was ever a thing, you got fucking
honestly,
brain
when I
damage.
first moved here and saw people riding around on motorcycles without a helmet, I was shocked because in England, you're not even allowed to wear that half turtle helmet thing that you have here. You've seen the one. You got to have the full fucking proper fucking helmet. Yeah, to ride a motorcycle in England, you have to have the proper fucking.
He says the motorcycle accident was due to a cocaine overdose.
Oh shit!
Because Jesus wanted him to sniff that shit.
He's clearly more badass than Alec Baldwin, right?
Yeah. In 2008, Busey's brain injury had a greater effect on him than he had realized. He said it is essentially weakening his mental filters and causing him to speak and act impulsively. That's why he acts a little bit erratic.
So you're saying a brain injury is giving him mental issues?
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Alec Baldwin.
I mean, with Alec Baldwin, you don't see him too much in the news, but
So not on Sundays, but he's there Monday through Saturday.
Not today, I haven't seen him in the news.
Well,
But I
we
mean,
might
like,
not see him again. He's talking about quitting acting completely over this deal with the gun. He's thinking about giving up.
right, and that's probably he's had a lot of acting roles. You know, played in Beetlejuice, Working Girl, Married to the Mob, Talk Radio, Hunt for Red October. I mean, he's played in a lot of big blockbusters, but the guy he largely keeps himself out of the limelight if he's not talking about global warming.
He was married to Kim Basinger. I remember that.
Right, but I mean, who hasn't been married to Kim Basinger?
That's okay. That's probably fair.
Right.
He yelled at his kids on the phone. I remember that being in the news.
Yeah, he
yelled
called
and
his daughter like a little pig.
Little
or
pig,
some shit
yeah,
like
I
that.
remember that. I mean, but it's easy to be a badass to an 8-year-old, right? If you're Gary Busey is a badass to everybody since his motorcycle injury.
Right. Yeah, like Alec Baldwin, I just see him as an
I
actor.
see him as mostly a nice guy in the movies he's in, honestly. Except for that one where I saw this film called Malice, very good film, where he played a surgeon that deliberately botched someone's surgery in cahoots with the person whose surgery he botched. I think it was Nicole Kidman. And so Nicole Kidman now cannot have kids. She sues him for millions of dollars, and it turns out they're actually lovers, and they pocketed the money that she got from him botching his surgery and run away. And so he was a badass in that. I mean, he was a badass surgeon, so it's not really that much badass. But yes, that's a pretty good movie actually. And then the husband of Nicole Kidman is all like completely like figures it out and chases them down and kills them both. Spoiler alert.
Cool, man. I don't give a fuck. So Gary Busey, Alec Baldwin. Do we have this insane nut, or do we have a guy that
So we're taking a vote. I would vote.
Got to take a vote.
I vote for Gary Busey because I think the overriding factor for me, Gary is such an awesome name.
You're right.
That's why I'm voting for Gary Busey.
I'll go Alec Baldwin.
Badger has the deciding vote again.
Honestly, I'm gonna go with Gary Busey. He does have problems, which I think overrides Alec Baldwin's problem.
He's got at least 99 problems.
Baldwin's going to jail because he can't commit a crime without getting caught. He's a fucking idiot. Gary Busey's just crazy.
Up next, 4th seed, Christian Slater takes on the 13 seed, Dog, the bounty hunter. All right, so when we're talking about Christian Slater, he married Ryan Haddon, the daughter of model Dale Haddon. In 2003, Haddon was arrested for assaulting Slater during an argument while on vacation. She threw a glass and cut Slater's neck, and that took 20 stitches, boys. That's a lot of stitches.
That's pretty hard ass. Is she not in this bracket?
No, it's him, unfortunately.
Okay.
She was charged with domestic battery, and he was charged with, keeping it cute. Slater was living in London at the time.
Who the fuck lives in London? Dude, who would do that shit?
Here's the thing. Christian Slater, he practices Kempo Karate. Woo!
I'm going to have to look that up. Kempo Karate.
And when he's not in Coconut Grove, Miami, he's living in Hell's Kitchen, Manhattan. You know what I'm saying? Slater has had difficulties with substance abuse, unfortunately. And he's received treatment.
A Hollywood actor that has problems with substance abuse. There's not many of them.
He was quoted as saying, "Work is my hobby, staying sober is my job." Did he steal that from us?
Probably because we don't hardly drink at all.
In 1989, Slater was arrested for drunk driving. Have you been?
What?
He was sentenced to 10 days in jail. In 1994, he was arrested again when he tried to board a commercial plane with a gun in his luggage. He was sentenced to 3 days of community service. This kind of shit would put us away forever.
Forever, yeah.
And these motherfuckers are getting 3 fucking days. In 1997, Slater was convicted of punching his girlfriend. Do you punch women?
What?
Michelle Jonas and assaulting a police officer while under the influence of heroin, cocaine, and alcohol. Do you do any of those? Be honest.
Huh?
Heroin, cocaine, and alcohol.
I don't understand the question.
Dear Jim, I specifically don't punch women unless they used to be men.
Okay, but Slater has also been a supporter of several charities. There you go, boys. Who is he going against? Dog the fucking bounty hunter. Is there any interesting facts?
Dwayne Chapman is Dog the Bounty Hunter. So at
That
15
sounds
years
rough.
old, 15 years old, Chapman joined the Devil's Disciples, an outlaw motorcycle gang. In 1976, he was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to 5 years. Damn.
Wait, first degree murders, 5 years?
In Texas, apparently.
All my exes.
I'm moving
live-
there.
Yeah, all my exes live in Texas.
No, they don't.
I'm gonna write a song about that.
No, they don't live.
They don't live.
He had been waiting in a getaway car while his friend shot and killed a gal that was 69 years old after a botched. Oh, fuck. He served 18 months at a Texas state penitentiary in Huntsville, Texas. While he was in prison, his first wife, LaFonda, divorced him.
La Fonda.
And he married his best friend. During his incarceration, he did field work.
He married his best friend, Big Butch, from Cell Block B. That's his new best friend.
As a result of his felony conviction, Chapman is not permitted to own any firearms and has been refused entry to the United Kingdom.
Oh wow. Yeah, we don't take scum. Just normal. We don't take Hollywood actors or bounty hunters unless they're Boba Fett. That's the only bounty hunter we take.
But this is the modern day Boba Fett.
Modern day Boba Fett. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. But I mean, they don't really let people in that have felony convictions in another country.
Oh, man. But you know what? Sometimes people with felony convictions can do some real good shit in your country.
All right, so we have a Kempo, karate, cocaine, heroin, alcohol, using a motherfucker with Christian Slater, which I think we'd get along great.
So if we're going to a vote, I mean, obviously, Dog the Bounty Hunter, if you compare him to Christian Slater, feels like there's only one winner. But now that you've told me all these interesting facts about Christian Slater, my vote is for Christian Slater.
I think he's like undercover badass, right? I mean, he's doing speedballs, karate. He's punching women. He ain't really giving a fuck, right?
And I should add that Slater was in 2 of my favorite TV shows, the American version of The Office and Curb Your Enthusiasm. So that's why he gets my vote above all that stuff you told me about him, which sounds kick-ass. Badger, who do you vote for?
I'm going with Dog because fuck Christian Slater.
Really? You don't like him? He speaks very highly of you.
No, he doesn't.
I'm at a little bit of an impasse, but there's no Trump coin here. Dog the Bounty Hunter looks. God, he looks like a piece of shit.
He looks like a reject from a heavy metal band.
He
That's what
really
looks
does.
like.
He looks like the backup drummer that ain't getting no ass.
The new guy in Skid Row.
Yeah, he's not looking good. Man, I would. Here's the problem. He sits there, and after he catches somebody, he wants to pray with them. You know what I mean?
Help them find the
Oh,
Jesus.
help them find Jesus, and then he puts them behind bars. What in the fuck?
So if you were arrested by Dog the Bounty, or if you were civilian arrested by Dog the Bounty Hunter, and he said, "Let's pray together," what would you say?
Well, I would say,
Fuck off.
go fuck yourself.
Exactly.
And that's what I'm going to say here.
I would say to him, "Listen, if we pray together, will you pretend you never found me and let me go?" And he's going to be like, "No." I'll be like, "Then fuck yourself."
Yeah, exactly. So, because of Jeebus, Christian Slater, he moving on. The next matchup is number 5 of Marky Mark Wahlberg taking on number 12, Steven Seagal.
Now we're talking about in their prime, right? Not
We
like
are
today.
talking about primes.
Oh man.
Seagal's 69 right now. He moved to Japan between 71 and 73.
Konnichiwa.
Right there. You already know a lot of martial arts.
But see, I was born in 73, so as soon as he heard I was born, he moved away from Japan.
He moved in 74 and returned to California.
Yeah, because he heard that I'd just been born.
Yeah.
It's like, I got to get back to California.
Anyway, Steven Seagal, there's a lot of controversy with him. Is he the real deal or not? There's a lot of video of him, whether it's going to like Russian schools or Brazilian schools. He's teaching people this. Would you say fraudulent bullshit?
Yes.
And it's a joke. It is very much a joke. Now, did he learn martial arts? I'm sure he fucking did, right?
I mean, he has the moves in the movies, but how much of that is CGI?
Or just choreographed out of the
Choreographed. Yeah, like a ballet. Listen, I'm going to break this now to Badger. He's not going to thank me for it, but stuff like WWF and all that, it's all choreographed. It's not real fighting.
What, are you talking about Bobby Lashley?
Well, I mean, we can't avoid talking about Bobby Lashley.
I love Bobby Lashley.
Badger loves Bobby Lashley. But I feel like maybe some of the Seagal movies at its height, all choreographed. My wife's friend named her son Mason Storm because she was such a huge fan of the Steven Seagal movie. What's that called? Time to Kill? Is that what it's called? Something Hard to Kill. Hard to Kill. And his name was Mason Storm.
Mason Storm.
My wife's friend named her son. Her son, who was born in 1991 and is now, nearly 30 years old, his name is Mason Storm. That's true story. True story. His name is Mason Storm.
Seagal plays a guitar.
Like a gay country singer?
He released his first album, Songs from the Crystal Cave.
Oh my God. Was it a bestseller?
It was great.
Did you buy it?
It features duets with Tony Rebel, Lady Saw, and Stevie Wonder.
Oh, I know Stevie Wonder. I don't know who the other two are. Did you buy that album, Badger? Is it in your greatest hits collection? The Steven Seagal, Me and My Guitar album?
Dude, he's a
phenomenal artist. Yeah.
So, Steven Seagal, is he a all martial arts badass? Or does Mark Wahlberg take him out? Badger has some legal issues.
Do we have some facts and legal
Mark
issues
Wahlberg.
about Mark Wahlberg?
Dude, Wahlberg has major legal issues from like 15 years old. And I mean, what do we know about like Boston sports fans? They're some of the biggest racists out there.
Especially
right?
the Southies, right? Boston
So-
Southies.
Yeah, Boston Southeast. So, June 1986, a then 15-year-old Mark Wahlberg and 3 friends chased after 3 black children while yelling, "Kill the N-word, kill the N-word." Wow. And throwing rocks at them. The next day, Wahlberg and the others followed a group of mostly black 4th graders, which included one of the victims from the previous day, taking a field trip on the beach, yelling racial epithets and throwing rocks at them. What the fuck? Another racially charged incident occurred in April 1988. The then 16-year-old Wahlberg assaulted a middle-aged Vietnamese-American man on the street, calling him Vietnam fucking shit, and knocking him unconscious with a large wooden stick.
So he was a juvenile delinquent, basically.
A very big juvenile delinquent. And I had heard this before. Like, he had a lot of issues growing up. But it's Boston. Boston is known as one of the most racist cities in all of America. They are absolutely terrible to the other teams that come in to play any kind of sport. Super fucking racist.
Is it Mark Wahlberg or is it Steven Seagal? I think Steven Seagal's a phony.
Ooh.
I really do. I think, I mean, even when he's not in his prime, and he was actually not 400, I think he's a fake. I think he's a bitch. Mark Wahlberg, he's also a racist bitch. And his family makes burgers.
Yeah,
What a
Wahlburgers.
bitch.
Wahlburgers. So who are you going to vote for? Who's the most bitchiest of the bitchiest bitches?
I think in a fight, Primes, right?
Primes.
And Mark Wahlberg made some shitty fucking rap music too. Good vibrations.
But wasn't it? Yeah, wasn't it the right stuff? Oh no, that was his brother, right? Yeah.
Oh, boys.
You got to give it against him because
I'm going to go against him. You know,
because of the shitty rap music.
I'm going Steven Seagal.
Badger, you go next.
I gotta go Steven Seagal too. Like Mark Wahlberg, as racist as he is, he can't overcome the red front of Steven Seagal.
All right, so we're two up already for Steven
It's already
Seagal.
over.
It's already, but I want to put in my vote for Mark Wahlberg for one reason and one reason only. He's banging that chick Jenny McCarthy, and I got to give him props for that. She's beautiful. I would bang her.
Beautiful.
So he gets my vote for that, even though my vote is irrelevant because I'm from a different country and you don't recognize my vote. But yes, I would also bang Jenny McCarthy. So for that alone, he gets my vote.